everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you are about to hear and see has been done in one take. I'm your host, the One Take Man. For today's video I wanted to do how I would remake the 50 Shades trilogy, but then I realized two things. One, this is not the time for it. I might pick up this project on Valentine's Day. And two, while I know what's wrong with it, I'm not exactly sure how to fix it. Not yet anyway. So for those reasons that project is delayed. And instead I'm gonna do a follow-up on my video on on how I would remake the DCEU. Link to that in the iCard above, I hope I'm pointing it right. And discuss how I would make a Justice League movie set in the DCEU I already laid out. Those of you who have seen that video, might remember that I didn't mention anything about the Martian Manhunter or the Green Lantern. And that is because I want at least the initial phases of this new DCEU to be a bit more grounded, a bit less outlandish. So movies concerning the Martian Manhunter and the Green Lantern will show up in the second phase, but for now I want to finish up the first phase. And for the purposes of this first phase, the founding members of the Justice League will be Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Wildcat, John Constantine, and The Flash. We haven't actually had a movie for The Flash, but we've had one of his rogues show up as a villain in one of the movies, and therefore I think it's safe to say the Flash is established as a character in this movie universe, and we can establish that in the beginning of the Justice League movie a bit further. So have a montage of of a day in the life of the Flash underneath the opening credits. It would start with him under the guise of as Barry Allen, working in a forensics lab. Then we go over to him on a date with his girlfriend Iris. Then we can have him meet his father in prison. And then towards the end of that montage, he would finally be the Flash in costume fighting one of the villains who would be who would later end up in Suicide Squad, about which I also made a video, and the link to that is in the iCard as well. When that montage is over, we see the Flash is going to his house, and when he opens his house, he notices that the TV is turned on and it shows a news story about an ongoing terrorist attack at the United Nations building. At first he's worried and rushes in, and then is like, I don't remember leaving you on. That's because you didn't, a voice mentions. He then turns to where the voice came from and sees John Constantine in his kitchen making himself some tea. Flash then attacks him, and Constantine is doing his best to keep away from the Flash. Even manages to knock him down at one point, and then stands over him holding a gun in his hand. That won't do you any good, the Flash says without missing a beat. I'm faster than a bullet, and even if you touched me, I would be able to heal ridiculously fast. That won't do you any good. Good to know. Constantine shrugs and then throws the gun away. Because that's not what I'm here for. And then helps him up. Then what are you here for? Barry asks. Constantine points to the TV, and we cut to the United Nations building, and we see Aquaman and Wonder Woman, who have been established as diplomatic figures in this cinematic universe, who are both helping emergency services contain the situation and helping various victims of the attack get to safety. During their efforts, they get attacked by some people who are dressed all in black. And when I mean dressed all in black, I mean they also have headgear. They are able to perform some pretty impressive physical feats, have some pretty crazy looking weapons that they also use in combat, and they have some abilities that normal humans shouldn't have, like phasing through walls, short range teleportation, or even surviving ridiculously high falls. Regardless, Wonder Woman and Aquaman managed to hold him off fairly well, at least for most of the fight. And then they each get their own mini-boss they have to contend with. They fight the mini-boss, they hold on pretty well, and then their mini-bosses hit them in the head area once and disappear. After they disappear, the journalists that are on site start coming towards them because they want to ask some questions, and just as the journalists come by, the Flash and Constantine show up. They greet each other, they compare notes, and then they agree on what to do next. And they decided they should go to the hotel where the diplomats are located in order to figure out in order to find out if there aren't any other traps or any other similar setups meant to harm the other diplomats. We then cut to Gotham City, or more precisely a limousine, where we see Bruce Wayne and Alfred Pennyworth discuss a news article, not about the United Nations, but about some nuclear bombs that were stolen. They start to wonder who could have stolen it and what they could do with it. Also, with the bombs. Bruce also mentions one of his plans when it comes to dealing with the Scarlet Speedster. Alfred asks him, "Are you sure this is the right thing to do, Master Bruce?" To which Wayne replies, "You know me, Alfred. I'd rather be safe. I'd rather be prepared." They then reach Wayne Manor, and when they walk in, they find that the place has been devastated, ransacked, whatever. So they decide to split up and assess the damage. Alfred will go to check out the state of the in-house security systems. Wayne goes down to the Batcave and find out what happened there. He finds that that place has also been pretty trashed. Also, there are no records of who perpetrated the attack, and one very particular file is now missing. One particular file that causes him to be worried, causes him to show concern. Cut to Metropolis. We see Clark Kent and Lois Lane headed up to their apartment. Clark receives a call from Bruce. "Hey, your place might be booby-trapped. Keep safe." Clark then tells Lois to go to her dad, the general, and he has something he has to deal with, and he might also have some problem with there might also be some clue to that in their apartment. He gets to the apartment, he scans it with his X-ray vision. He notices that there is a booby trap to the house, and that booby trap is connected to a container that is lined with lead. Obviously, and to him that's obvious that it's kryptonite. He also sees that there are a bunch of people squatting around his house, and some of them have weapon sheets that also seem to be lined with lead. Okay, so this is what I'm fighting, he realizes. He busts through the booby trap and then tries to fight off the people who invaded his home. Thing is, he can't really do anything because aside from the kryptonite swords, he finds out that their other weapons are also enchanted, and because of that magic protection upon them, he can't really do much to them except run away, or rather fly away. Then he then notices that his attackers or home invaders don't really follow him. They just go back to their positions in his home. He then calls up Bruce and is like, and explains to him what happened. Bruce also explains what happened to him, and they agree that they should meet someplace neutral, Wildcat's gym. We then cut back to Wayne Manor. Alfred managed to get the in-house communications back and running. Bruce tells him that he'll be out for a while. He should call the others and get himself somewhere safe. We then cut back to Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Constantine, and the Flash doing a sweep of all the hotel rooms for booby traps. They don't find anything, and then until they finally reach Wonder Woman's room. They go in, and initially there's nothing to be found. But then everyone disappears except for Wonder Woman, and she's just like wondering, well, where is everyone? And then everything else disappears, and she's no longer in her hotel room. She's, as far as you can tell, no longer even on planet Earth. She's just on some void with a light. And out of that void, Ares, the god of war, one of her villains, shows up and starts fighting her. She's very good at keeping him at bay, but she can't outfight him. So she has to go into this very protracted fight scene, which steadily goes faster and faster and faster and faster. We then cut to the other characters, who are actually still in the hotel room, and they see that Wonder Woman is just kind of crashing onto the floor, and they're like, "What's going on here?" Constantine and Flash figure out that something is messing with her head. They use their abilities to get her head cleared up, and then something similar happens to Aquaman. They realize, okay, this is bigger. This is complicated. This is way more than we can do. We need to meet up somewhere else and really figure out what's going on. And they also decide to go to Wildcat's gym. Finally, all seven of our heroes meet up at Wildcat's gym. They greet each other and start comparing notes on what's going on and on what they've encountered so far. At one point, Batman says, those things you've encountered, my bad. Everyone's like, what? You did this? I didn't do any of this, Batman defends himself. I planned it. You planned for us to face this kind of thing? I planned for you to be neutralized. I have plans in place should any of you decide to turn rogue. You're too dangerous for me not to assume that risk. I'm sorry. So, wait a second. If you didn't do this, then who did? Well, that's the thing, I don't know. There are a bunch of people who could do all the things you've described. I'll need a bit more evidence to figure out what's going on. Wonder Woman then hands him a dagger she picked up from one of her attackers, and he figures out. Batman looks it over and realizes it's the League of Shadows. Everyone's a bit confused because they don't know what a League of Shadows is, except for Wonder Woman, who says, "I thought they were just a myth." They're not just a myth, Batman says. Their whole goal is to fight corruption wherever it shows up. The problem is, they've been around for so long they can't even recognize what actual corruption is. Regardless, they're still large, powerful, and influential. If they really are onto us, if they really want to eliminate us, then we have to strike quickly, and we have to strike hard, and we have to strike fast. Just as he says that, the gym is attacked by several members of the League of Shadows, and our heroes do their best to fight them. They get hurt during this fight. They get in each other's way, but eventually they manage to fight their attackers off. But the gym ends up getting absolutely destroyed. They still stay at the gym, try to lick their wounds, while Constantine picks up a whole bunch of stuff they dropped, in order to figure out who's providing them with, who's providing the League of Shadows with magic assistance. And after conducting some investigations, he realizes that the perpetrator, or rather the assistant to the League of Shadows, is Morgan Le Fay. What? I hear some of you Arthurian legend fans say. Morgan Le Fay is in the half-sister of Arthur? To which I say, kinda. Because DC also has their own version of Morgan Le Fay. Whether or not she is, whether or not what her deal is more precisely, I can't say. But I can say that she is an established character within the DCU who has certain abilities and has certain agendas that could be construed as compatible with those of the League of Shadows. After Constantine says this, he then reveals that he doesn't really have any way that can counter Morgan's magical assistance for the League, but he knows how he can gain all the powers and knowledge that he would need in order to help them. For that, however, they need to fulfill a quest in order to retrieve an item that Constantine can then give to a guy he was a favor to. Because, yeah, that's Constantine's whole shtick. During their quest, they have to deal with tasks that confront various personality issues they have, as well as certain trust issues they have related to how they deal with each other. They manage to overcome them. They then go to this guy Constantine owes a favor to, give him this item he's after, and then that guy tells them, oh yeah, the League wants to use the nukes to detonate all the major financial centers of the world and then take over. And Morgan wants to be one of those who takes over in order to create a kingdom for his son or something along those lines. And then he also adds that their joint lair is in a castle somewhere in Scotland, because of course that's where it is. So the League goes to the castle, manages to fight their way into it, and then split up. Constantine and Flash focus their efforts on Morgan, trying to contain the influence her magic has on the rest of the battlefield. Aquaman and Wonder Woman take care of most of the goons, and then also have a rematch with each of their respective mini bosses, who messed up with their heads in the beginning of the movie. And then Batman, Superman, and Wildcat actually go to the Demon's Head, Ra's al Ghul, and also fight him and do their best to stop his efforts when it comes to detonating the nukes he stole. They succeed. Batman and Ra's al Ghul have a small exchange that establishes that they've already known each other before they then all part ways. The heroes, the League of Shadows, and Morgan. The last minutes of the movie will show us that Wayne Corp is sponsoring a reconstruction of the Wildcat Gym, and that various figures from the extended cast of the superheroes have signed up to volunteer in the reconstruction. We also see that in the basement of the newly revamped gym, there is a Hall of Justice being constructed. So yeah, we have the beginnings of this new Justice League. Also, post-credit scene where we see one of the mini bosses, as I've kept calling them, attending to a child training with a sword. That mini boss takes off her veil, reveals she is the child's mother, and reveals that the child is named Damien. Because yes, I want to add a teaser to Son of Batman in a story that loosely adapts Tower of Babel. I don't know, just seems fun and just seems like it would lead to some more interesting stuff down the line. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. If you have anything you'd like to add, the comment section is wide open. And if you want to see when the next video, which, spoiler alert, will be about how I would bring the X-Men into the MCU, then go ahead and subscribe. Maybe also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube requires of its users at the time you are watching it. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.